What's up, mi gente? Welcome to my Monday's podcast. Let's overthink it with your host, Elefante Blanco, with lo que está caliente in the world of politics. Thank you for tuning in, for taking time out of your busy schedule, your busy day, to hang out over here with me and connect. And today we're going to talk about politics. I know it can sometimes be a little bit uncomfortable for many people to talk about politics, especially in today's environment where being Republican or Democrat is something that people, they wear on their sleeve, and not like 10 years ago, where if you were Republican, Independent, Democrat, it was something that you did. You know what I mean? It was something like if you were affiliated to a party, something that you did, you voted. And that was it. It wasn't at the forefront of what maintained or broke relationships like friendships and even marriages. So even though it may be a little bit uncomfortable, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it a little bit because there's no moving forward without friction. But before we do that, let's start with a joke first, like we always do. And since we're in that theme of politics, let's make a joke about that. All right? Are you ready? All right. What's the difference between a politician and a flying pig? The letter F. Oh, man. All right. I know. Not all politicians are bad. It's just a joke. Don't take it personally. There are some good politicians out there, too. So, all right. So let's jump into the topic. Which TDS do you have? Trump derangement syndrome or Trump devotion syndrome? I'm actually going to talk about both, but we'll start with the Trump derangement syndrome. Most of us have heard about the, TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, on TV, on social media, radio, everywhere, and you all know what it means, right? It basically describes a behavior that is rooted in hatred for Trump that leads a person to see everything that he does as bad. For example, some have said that even if Trump found the cure for cancer, that they would prefer dying before taking the cure. Here's a video from Senator Elizabeth Warren, whom Trump supporters believe that she has a Trump derangement syndrome. She's talking about the Trump accounts for babies, where the government puts in $1,000, and by the time the kid turns 18, he or she would have made a certain amount of money based on how much the parents put in for investment. For example, if the parents put in about $1,000 every year, about $1,000 every year, which is about $100 every month, the kid would end up with about $60,000 by the time the kid turns 18. If the parents put in the maximum amount per year, which is $5,000, by the time the kid turns 18, that kid will have $300,000 approximately. So that's what the Trump account is about. She doesn't trust the Trump account and says this. Check out the video.
And they want to take away the retirement that Americans earn out of their paychecks every single week, every single paycheck. And look, it's just another Trump scam. Basically, it's only for families that can afford to put $5,000 into a kid's account every year.
Okay. So to have Trump derangement syndrome, you really have to despise the guy to the point that some people think that you have become deranged, which is basically, in psychology, as you know, that's my field. It's a significant disturbance in your mental processing where there is really no room whatsoever to give Trump credit or see anything that he does as a good thing. So this term was actually first used, Trump derangement syndrome, not necessarily with the word Trump in it, back in 2003, but they put Bush in it, Bush derangement syndrome. And the first person who used it was a psychiatrist who was also a conservative. He passed away, Charles Krafthammer. And he was a political commentator, a psychiatrist, and he was the first one to start using it during the Bush era. And then the Trump supporters kind of adopted it to start using it, in the same manner. So now the people who like Trump, Really like that segment. But there's a difference between liking Trump and loving him to the point of irrational devotion. So now those people have been said to have the Trump devotion syndrome. So this syndrome describes a behavior that is rooted in a passionate devotion for Trump that leads a person to see everything that he does as good. For example, some have said that when Trump posted an image of himself as Jesus Christ, that's not what he meant. That what he really meant was to share an image of himself as a doctor, curing people. So watch this.
He posted because he thought he looked like a doctor.
I
He's called
see a
making our
healer.
country
He's
well
here
again.
to heal the sick. He's beautiful. He looks like a doctor. Look at,
Our
he's got
country's
his
been sick for a
magic.
long time.
He's got
He's
his
healing
magic
it.
hand.
Do doctors traditionally have magic hands?
Well, up to you and I, they do. Do you know how to carve somebody up in the stomach and cure whatever, if they have like an intestinal ailment? Can you do that?
I'm poor with a scalpel, you're correct.
So to have Trump devotion syndrome, you really have to passionately love the guy to the point that some people think that you become so devoted where your mental processing is so disturbed where there's no room whatsoever to give Trump a bad grade or see anything he does as a bad thing. So there you have it. That's the society that we're living in right now. Of course, these are not the only two camps of people, since, for example, me, I don't associate with any of these two extremes. The people who truly know me know that I am more of an independent mind. I've actually voted for both parties in my lifetime. And I know there's a bunch of people out there too that they don't subscribe to these extremes either. So, and to them, I give them my round of applause, okay? All right, so in my opinion, anything extreme, anything in excess is not good. And what I think we should do is to try to truly try, see the things that we have in common first, focus on those things first, and not let politicians drive the way we treat each other. Okay? So before I go, I always like to finish the podcast with a word of the day. So today's word may actually be a little bit related to our topic. And I don't always pick it like that, but it looks like today it might be. So the word of the day is exacerbate. Exacerbate. Do you know what it means? All right, I won't tell you because like my teacher used to say, if I tell you, you won't remember it, but if you look it up, you'll remember it for the rest of your life. So thank you, mi gente, for joining me. God bless you and see you next time, okay?